For a long time, people believed that old age arrived like an inevitable clock, as if there were an exact moment when the body would begin to slow down, energy would disappear, and life would be reduced to rest, memories, and limitations. But every now and then, someone appears who completely breaks this pattern, and does it so naturally that it can feel uncomfortable for those who still rely on excuses. Today we are talking about an 85-year-old woman named Martha Patricia, and what is most impressive is not just her age, but the way she lives, moves, and presents herself to the world, with a level of vitality that many people can't maintain even at 50. When someone discovers her age for the first time, the reaction is almost always the same. There must be some secret, some rare genetics, expensive treatments, or a perfect life behind it all. But the truth is much simpler and much more applicable. What sustains her energy and appearance is not something extraordinary. It is something most people postpone every day: consistent habits. And when you understand her lifestyle, it becomes clear that youth is not just a number, but the direct result of decisions repeated over time. The first pillar of this transformation is movement. Martha Patricia trains almost every day, but not in the way many people imagine. There is no extreme exhaustion or professional athlete routine. The difference lies in her mindset. She sees exercise as a natural part of life, like brushing her teeth or walking, something that simply belongs in her day, without drama or psychological effort. This kind of consistency brings obvious benefits, such as improved heart health, stronger muscles, and greater joint mobility. But there is an even deeper effect that few people notice: the direct impact on the brain. When the body moves regularly, blood circulation improves, delivering more oxygen to the brain, which directly influences memory, focus, and even emotional state. And here comes an essential point, especially with aging. The loss of muscle mass is natural, but it does not need to be accelerated. On the contrary, it can be significantly slowed down with regular physical activity. Muscles act as an internal structure that supports the body, protects the joints, and maintains balance. That is why people who continue moving over the years have a much lower risk of falls, constant fatigue, and feelings of weakness. But the most interesting part in her case is not just the fact that she trains, it's how she trains, and that is exactly what changes everything. On her blog, Martha Patricia shares simple workouts that can be done at home, without complicated equipment, expensive gyms, or the need to leave the house. And this is exactly where one of the most important ideas of her lifestyle lies. Because for most people, the biggest obstacle is not the workout itself, but everything around it, such as commuting, cost, time, and adjusting their routine. When you remove these barriers, movement becomes accessible to anyone, at any stage of life. Home workouts offer very clear advantages, starting with time, since 15 to 20 well-spent minutes can produce better results than sporadic and unstructured trips to the gym. In addition, there is the psychological factor, since in their own environment people feel more comfortable, without comparing themselves to others, without external pressure, and able to progress at their own pace, which greatly increases consistency. Martha Patricia always emphasizes that what matters most is not extreme intensity, but regularity, because the body responds to patterns, it adapts to rhythm. And when movement becomes part of daily life, endurance increases, mood improves, and energy begins to appear naturally. But her philosophy goes beyond physical exercise, because she doesn't just train, she also inspires, acting as a kind of mentor for thousands of people who follow her content. And what's most interesting is that this motivation doesn't come from pressure or rigidity, it comes from example. When someone sees an 85-year-old woman exercising calmly, smiling, and showing joy in living, it completely breaks the limited idea many people have about aging. And that is exactly why so many people have started moving. Not because she represents an unattainable standard, but because she shows that it is possible, simple, and real. She doesn't seem unreachable or out of touch with reality. On the contrary, Martha Patricia gives the impression of an ordinary person who simply decided to live actively and share that experience with others. And that is exactly what makes her story so powerful. The most effective motivation does not come from rigid rules or pressure, but from example. When you see someone living exactly the way you would like to live, your brain stops treating it as something impossible and begins to see it as achievable, something real. That is why her role as an inspiration has such an impact on the lives of those who follow her content. But there is a principle she constantly repeats that, at first glance, may seem too simple to have such an effect. The word is love, not in a superficial sense, but as a practical foundation for a healthy and long life. She talks about 3 types of love: love for yourself, love for others, and love for life. When you look deeper, you realize this is not just a nice idea, it is a real longevity strategy. Self-love, for example, has nothing to do with selfishness, but with respect. It is the ability to take care of your own body and mind, because a person who values themselves does not constantly sabotage their own health. They stay active, rest when needed, and learn to deal with stress in a smarter way, avoiding unnecessary wear over time. Love for others has an even deeper impact than many people realize, because social connections directly influence both the quality and even the length of life. People who maintain close relationships, have friends, family, and emotional support tend to live longer and happier lives, while isolation increases stress levels and can even affect the immune system. In the end, what Martha Patricia shows is that aging well does not depend only on exercise or diet, but on a set of internal and external attitudes that support both body and mind over the years. And that may be exactly what most people still don't realize. Finally comes the 3rd pillar that she constantly reinforces: love for life, which is not something abstract or distant, but a practical state in which a person remains curious, engaged, and open to the world, seeking new experiences, staying active, talking, learning, and allowing themselves to live with presence. And this has a direct impact on the body, because this attitude reduces chronic stress, improves sleep quality, and speeds up physical and mental recovery, creating a positive cycle that sustains vitality over the years. When you observe her routine, it becomes clear that this youth did not appear by chance. It is the result of small decisions made every day. She stays active, inspires others, maintains connections, and remains engaged with life in an active way. And perhaps the most important point of this whole story is understanding that age does not appear suddenly. It is built over time, based on how you live your days, weeks, and years. Many people only start thinking about their health when their energy has already declined and the signs appear, but her example shows that there is another path, a path where you can start at any moment, with a simple walk, a few minutes of exercise at home, or a conscious decision to take better care of yourself and see life with more lightness. Because in the end, it's not about doing everything perfectly, but about starting, even if it's small, and staying consistent. At 85 years old, an age when many people have long given up on themselves, Martha Patricia does exactly the opposite. She keeps moving, helps others, and shows every day a simple but powerful truth. The body may age, but vital energy is a choice you make repeatedly throughout life, in the small daily decisions, in how you take care of yourself, move, and face the world. Now I want to hear from you. What did you think of her story? Share your opinion in the comments, because it helps others reflect as well. And if this content resonated with you, like and share it with someone who needs to hear this message, because sometimes a simple decision can completely change the course of a life.